Well, hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your January reading for the new year, 2024. I hope you're doing amazing. It is something to be excited about. 2024 looks amazing. The year ahead looks great. Okay. So be really excited for this one. This one definitely is going to be different. 2023 shifted out a lot of things from, you know what, happening in the world. And now everyone's looking at like what's true to them, what's true to you, how do you want to live, being honest with yourself, dropping like those facades of programmed behavior and actions, and doing like following your heart more. Okay, but I digress. Okay, we're gonna get into your cards. So the first card we have is Vampire in the reverse. Depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining, and codependency. What's interesting about this is I don't feel like this is you, you know? Sagittarius, I feel like you have gotten used to a toxic situation or environment. You've gotten yourself used to it. It's a form of trauma. It could be tiny, it could be large, it could be vast. But I feel like you've gotten used to something and you're like, oh, this is how it's going to be, or I need to just continue, to get through this or brave through this. I almost get the vibe of like it's easier to brave through it than bring it up or try to change it. But that's what this energy is bringing in. Yeah. Falling. The unknown, descent, momentum, change. So January is bringing change to your life because it has to happen. There has to be some sort of change. There has to be some sort of vulnerability. It's like you become aware, and now that you're aware, you have to do something about it. You want to feel stable and you want to feel solid and you want things to be going right, and you got to make some changes. Okay, but let's get into the cards. Okay, I'm gonna pull them all out, but I'll move them so I can do the tarot part. So we're starting off with the fifth chakra, winter solstice, the honoring path, sweat lodge, rest and rejuvenation, and music harmony. I see a lot of being true to yourself in here, speaking your mind. You know, there has been a lot of instances in the past, Sagittarius, where I feel like you wanted to speak your mind or you wanted to say what you were saying, like what needed to be said, but it almost feels like being ignored or not understood, or maybe you haven't been speaking your mind because you're afraid of what others would say or how it would change your life in some drastic way, and you don't know if you were ready for that. So it could go either way. But I feel like there is some sort of like spiritual enlightenment or release that happens when you start to speak your mind, or when you say what you need to say, or when you walk in your own truth. Okay. Because I see a release that needs to happen. There's a period where you're thinking about it, or you have been contemplating the situation, but then you understand through spiritual enlightenment, through reflection, that there needs to be some change, or you need to walk away from something. It's like, I'm just going to rip the band-aid off. Okay. So I see you taking some time to yourself somewhere in January, to do that, to get yourself back in balance with who you are, you know, your authentic true self. Beautiful. All right, so let's get into your cards, Sagittarius. I guess I can move these over. It doesn't really matter where they are, does it? It doesn't. Okay. Okay, we're starting off. 6 of Cups. King of Swords. The Fool. The Lovers. 6 of Coins. Eight of Wands. It's a lot of movement going on here. 10 of Cups. Ace of Wands. Two of Coins. So Sagittarius, I'm trying to figure out how to say this because I feel a moment of reflection that's coming in January. It looks like there is a look back on the past. I think that's something that you're doing in the new year. It's like a moment for you to reflect. The camera makes it look like those lights are blinking, but they're not. I was turning around like, why are they blinking like that? They're not. There's a reflection, like a moment where let's start over. Sagittarius. There's a moment where you take time to reflect about the past, right? And the things that you have done and the things that you haven't done, and what is the cause and effect of that, like what came out of that, and if you're happy about it, if you want to continue to do things the same way or make some changes. I definitely see that. It's like you're wiser now, and you're like, I want to use this wisdom, this knowledge that I have, whether this is spiritual wisdom or experience, like wisdom. I want to use it to the best of my abilities for myself. So it's almost like you're integrating that into your life, that wisdom that you have learned over the last year, I would say, and how you're going to apply that to your life in real time. I also see you taking a risk and doing something you haven't done before, like a change. It feels like a change in your life, like you're taking a risk to do something where maybe you were afraid, but you feel like you have enough knowledge that if you take a risk, you can fix it. You can be successful. It's like, oh, I dove into this lake. Oh man, I don't know how to swim, but I have enough knowledge to know that logs float. So I'm going to grab this log and it's going to carry me back to the edge, It's more like that. Like you have a lot of knowledge and understanding, and you're using that to the best of your abilities moving forward. Okay. I see you focusing more on your happiness, especially when it comes to relationships. You're looking for the one. You're looking for someone. I'm going to go into a rant because I feel like I need to here. You're looking for someone that respects you. You're looking for someone that is going to treat you right. That is like the yin to your yang. They don't have to be perfect, but it's like you're tired of giving yourself to relationships where they don't give back to you. I see at least one person being stuck with an on and off type of thing that's probably been going on for years or something like that. And it's like yeah, at one time I thought that that was the person for me, but obviously I've been giving a lot to that, a lot of my time and effort, and I feel like I should take that time and effort back that I'm giving to that person and give to someone else to try to grow something better or more. Or if you're in a current relationship, you are not living in the past with that relationship anymore and just moving forward and working on having a better, healthier connection with that person. Okay. Um, and I see you being successful in either way. All right, Sagittarius. So you're saving money. I see that you're saving money. It's interesting because I feel like you're budgeting. It's like you're going to come up with a plan in January on what to do with your money, like budgeting. It the way that they're showing it to me, Sagittarius, is like you know when people do that money thing with the envelopes, the stuffing envelopes, like this is for bills, this is for spending, this is for entertainment or whatever. I see that with your finances. I see everything being compartmentalized in a way um that works. That's all it's like this is working for you. This is what works. Somehow you're doing your money in a certain way and that's working for you. It's just working. Yeah. There's a lot of in January there's a lot of you seeing what works and what doesn't, you know. It's like you're not settling. There's an energy. Now, I'm not going to say settling, but yes, you know, like it's one of those things that if you were honest with yourself, Sagittarius, you would see I'm settling. I could have better. I could do better than this. Okay. And whatever aspect it is, for a lot of you, it is a relationship. You thought somebody was your soulmate. Okay. Um, you've just gotten wiser. You've just gotten wiser and probably more and definitely more in control of your finances. You got finances figured out. It's like you see what was draining your finances or what the problem was, and you're taking action to not be in that predicament again, something like that, you know? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's dive in some more. Sorry, I had to put all the cards out. Okay. Yeah, in the past, it looks like you didn't take many chances, you didn't take many risks. I feel like there's a need to hold on to something because you're like, I spent a lot of time or I cultivated this, or it's not about fear of what other people think. It's about letting something you have already built or spent a lot of time on slip through your fingers. Um, But you also see that that was like you just reminiscing about something and not looking at the future. And the point now is to look at the future. It definitely is true with relationships for sure. It's like you convinced yourself that the way a relationship was how it is supposed to be. And that's not true. That's not true. Um, that thought, that mental process of thinking that is at its end. It's like that's at its last leg. You're done doing that. And we're moving on to a different phase. Because what happens is, I feel like you weren't very happy in this type of situation. You weren't very happy in this kind of environment with these kinds of feelings. And that's okay. Nothing's the matter with that, but you have to make some changes. And I feel like it's about you being happy. So it's like, how many times can I say, well, I'm going to do the same thing over again and hope for different results? So now you're focusing on being happy and what happiness looks like. What does a happy relationship look to you? A happy, healthy one. Okay. And a happy, healthy life, and a happy, healthy job, and a happy, healthy family, friendship, all of that. You've gained a lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom. You've went through a lot of experiences from the negative or the ups and downs of 2023. And you have identified clearly, and whether you want to face it or not, Sagittarius, what your weaknesses are. Okay. So now this is your chance to start working on them. This is your chance to start putting the effort in to make them not weaknesses anymore. It'll definitely give you a new perspective on why you haven't been coming out on top the way that you want to, and why things are not turning out the way that you want them to. It's like it's adjusting or readjusting your perspective to help you actually be happier and to be more successful, if that's how you want to call it. Yeah, to be more successful and more happy. And it's like once you figure that out, once you like kind of admit that to yourself, that you do play a part in some way that can actually not resolve it, but make this situation or make life easier. I see you being very motivated by that and ready to take action on it. But there is like this moment, I feel like, of reflection. So be open in January, okay, to new experiences. Not being afraid that you're going to fail. It doesn't matter. We're about new energy in 2024. So go into that new energy, take a risk, move forward, make a decision. Things will pick up. I feel like there is a lot of spiritual growth. There's a lot of not lessons, and this is just in January, not in 2024 in general, but I feel like there's a lot of, like, there's going to be a lot of you processing, like, this is what I used to do in this situation. This is what I'm going to do now. Like a lot of processing and applying into your real life. I see a lot of spiritual growth, a lot of connecting with spirit guides. Some of you may be picking up more spiritual practices like going to church or reading up on certain things, creating an altar, praying more, meditating, whatever your spiritual practices are. I just feel that it is to help you get more in touch with your higher power. That's what's important. So it's like you're applying that energy back into your life. And that is one of the keys also that's going to help you kind of accept your vulnerabilities, you know, and not be so, because what happens is we get so egotistical that we're like, that's not me. I don't do that. I don't need work. That's not true with anyone, you know. But we get like that sometimes. Okay. So more cards. I made this new spread up and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I am. This happens every once in a while. I'll be meditating and a spread will come to mind. Okay. I'm going to put these cards out and then we're going to talk about them. Okay, let's talk about work and finances. It's like you had a position that maybe was your dream position or dream job in the past, and you either left, got let go, or it just doesn't fulfill you anymore. Or there was downgrading or changes. Or maybe not, work was dying down. This is your chance in January to try for a different department, a different job, start working on that business that you wanted to start. The key here for you when it comes to your career, Sagittarius, is if you do not try, you won't know. I also see you have a lot of knowledge about something that you could become like a consultant for it. Like you could start your own business from something you've been doing for years. And be very good at it. Like you would be a consultant, you know? Yeah. I see vulnerabilities in you doing something out of the ordinary, or saying something out of the ordinary, or speaking your mind, doing something out of your comfort zone or out of your routine. Because it doesn't look professional or it doesn't look polished. But also I see you not being happy because you don't. I think the key is to notice, try it and notice how happy you are, because that's what I see. You know, it's like, yeah, you can look polished to everyone else. You cannot say those words and someone doesn't look at you sideways, but it doesn't resolve the situation. Like, it doesn't make it better. It doesn't make it easier. It doesn't make it more tolerable if you don't. So you can start small, but it's definitely important to get that out. Only thing I'm getting from that is you matter. Your opinion matters. What you go through matters. Somebody else is going through it, you know? How many bizarre documentaries have we seen of someone dressed like, a dog in their own house? Somebody is like, hey, I do that too. Somebody, you know, you're never the only one. I watch a lot of documentaries. I've seen some weird ones. So, yeah, it's like once you start to give to wanting change in your life, it's like you're waking up, you know, like you don't always have to be polished. You don't always have to like accept something because that's the way it is. You can be an individual, you can live your own life, you can speak your truth. And I feel like you're making a choice in January, Sagittarius, to do that. You are. And it's for the happiness of your future. It's like you're investing in your future happiness and in yourself. Don't get discouraged when things don't go your way. It's like you spend time trying to figure out like how it's going to work. You may have to take a moment to like juggle and make sure that things are working out right, but you can do it. Like, it's possible. Let's talk about your love life, and then we'll get into Spirit's message to you. There's definitely a relationship or a situation within a relationship you're in currently, that either somebody keeps coming back to you, or a issue that you're having keeps coming up. It's almost becoming a habit that you're uncomfortably accepting. Because if it was to stop, I say uncomfortably because if it was to stop, you'd be okay with it. Okay. Yeah, you're seeing that this route, if you continue this route of thinking that this person is like your soulmate or perfect for you, not noticing that there does need to be some work, like you can't just sweep it under the rug. It's not going to make it better. You're seeing that view of happiness that you want emotionally, that connection that you want emotionally won't happen. Okay. It's like that realization that won't happen for you if you don't do this for yourself. So I feel like you're being honest with yourself about making a sacrifice. It's like you're on the edge of, I know I need to do it. I've been waiting to do it. I've been waiting to say what I need to say. I've been waiting to be happy. And this is your chance to step towards that. Okay. It's time to release negativity. I'm telling you. It's time to release it, Sagittarius. Full moon is Scorpio. Scorpio is about transformations, right? Full moons is about closing out that chapter. We're done. We don't need it anymore. And I feel like that's where you are. It's like it's time for a rebirth. It's time for a change. Why not do it today? You can keep putting it off. You can say, oh, it'll eventually do what it needs to do, or, things will eventually get better. But this is more of a just rip the Band-Aid off. Okay. Okay, we have the scythe. I'm going to pull these up so you can see them. We have the scythe, we have the bear, and we have stars. Yeah, from what I'm seeing here, it's going to take dedication and determination for you to stick with what you're doing, right? You're speaking your mind. You're cutting things off. You're letting go. It's like stick with it. Through January, the most important thing for you to do, Spirit's message for you, is to stick with it. And over time, it will heal. Over time, it will get better. Over time, you can achieve your dream, you know? There's very much an energy of just ripping the Band-Aid off, though. It's like, you could let it sit there. You know, you could do it slowly and feed it piece by piece, or you could just rip the Band-Aid off and just go, you know? And there's a lot of energy here about ripping the Band-Aid off, Sagittarius, okay? So I love you. Happy New Year, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.